Okay, so let's take figured bass and kind of distill it down to 6 basic rules. Um, okay, so here we go. If there's an accidental next to a number, raise or lower that pitch by 1/2 step chromatically. So no matter what the pitch is, go up 1/2 step. If there's if there's a sharp on it, if there's a flat, you go down by 1/2 step. Sometimes you'll see that written as a slash through a number, like we saw in that video. Slash means raise. Okay, number 2. If there's an accidental by itself, raise or lower the third above the bass. So in a case like this means the third above the bass, not the third of the chord, which in this particular case happens to be the same. But it means a third above the bass gets raised. Okay, when building, number 3, when building the chord above the bass, put stuff in an appropriate octave for the voices that you're using. So just make sure that everything is within the range so the soprano part isn't too high, the tenor part isn't too low, and all that stuff. But you do have some flexibility in how you put together those chords. If there is no accidental on something, it means you're in key. Keep that in mind. So, for example, this one, we have no numbers, but we also have no accidentals. So that means that all the notes are in key. Whether or not it's major or minor, we don't really care about to some extent because we just know that we're going to obey the key signature, is what that tells us. Here we know this is a first inversion chord with B in the bass. The rest of the notes are in key. That's all we really care about. So you don't have to think about if it's major or minor. Just remember that unless otherwise told with an accidental, you stay in key. Okay, number 5. When you see accidentals like this floating by themselves, I know we already talked about this, but I want to point this out separately. It applies to the third, and this one, it's attached to the 6. It applies to the 6th, not to the 6 and to the 4. Remember that accidentals affect one note only. I see a lot of the time when people are learning this, a mistake they might make is when they see a sharp like this, they assume that means all notes are sharped, which is entirely not true. And in a case like this, they might assume both the 6 and the 4 are sharped. Also not true. The accidental applies once to one number only. So this is a sharp 6, not a sharp 6 and a sharp 4. If it was a sharp 6 and a sharp 4, it would look like this. That would be a sharp 6 and a sharp 4. So don't make that mistake. I see people make that all the time, that they assume the sharp or the flat or the natural applies to all the notes when it only applies to one. Okay, and rule number 6, follow all voice leading and doubling rules that you already know. We have a good amount of flexibility in the notes that we can put together and how this sounds, but at the same time, we have a lot of rules we need to follow because everything we know about part writing and SATB part writing, all of that stuff still applies. So we still need to resolve correctly. We still need to do all that stuff. Okay, great. So let's do a worksheet on figured bass. I'll give you a couple things to try out, and then we'll get back to our discussion on phrasing and this whole tonic dominant tonic thing that we started in the last class.